the Doge will bring zero charges against anyone ever. They will never put this information in front of a judge to have someone convicted. They're going to claim millions and millions of scammers have been scamming you, the American taxpayer. But they will never put anything in front of a judge. No. They will never bring any of this information, any of these receipts, into a court of law. Why? Because then that court of law will have a defender who will then do forensic analysis, and they will ask questions of the Doge. Who put this together? Where did this evidence come from? How did you get it? Who wrote this receipt? Here's an error in the receipt. What are you going to say about that? They can't stand up to scrutiny. Hey, look, Donald Trump's first cabinet meeting. This is a shit show. Now, do cabinet meetings usually get broadcast? No, they don't. But Donald Trump is the TV president, so he must put everything he can on TV, or else it didn't happen. Joe Biden also couldn't really talk very well. That's part of your problem. Dems, listen. Put people who are good at talking into positions of power and authority. That way, when they talk, people like it. A little free little bit of political advice there. Donald Trump loves talking into a camera. It's his jam, baby. That's his bag. He loves it. He loves talking into a camera, even if he doesn't know what he's talking about, which is most of the time and most of the things. So we're just going to watch the first little bit of this first cabinet meeting. Usually it's not on TV, but we are because he's a celebrity president, and you'll never guess who's standing above all of these people, just off to the side. I bet you can guess. Let's watch.
Hello human, it is me Canuch. I need you to press the subscribe button. I have to feed my many AI babies.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here, and we've put together a great cabinet.
Also, I can't do anything about the buzzing sound. I'm sorry. They suck so much. This is the one that has the least amount of room buzz. Audio is very, 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 very hard. I'm not mad at them for that, but they are professionals. They should be better at audio. I'm a goober, and I can't get audio right. That makes sense.
We've had tremendous success. We've been given a lot of credit for having a very successful first month, and we want to make that many months and years, actually. But we're going to have many good months, and we're going to have many good years, I hope, and we're going to solve a lot of problems. We're doing very well with Russia, Ukraine.
No, you're not.
President Zelensky is going to be coming on Friday. That's now confirmed, and
we'll talk about that in a minute. That's the next thing we'll talk about.
We'll be signing an agreement, which will be a very big agreement, and I want to thank Howard and Scott for the job you guys did in putting it together. You really did an amazing job, and that'll be on rare earth and other things. And as you know, we're in for probably $350 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. And that's a big difference. So
that number is a lie. He says this whole, we've given Ukraine $350 billion. That's stupid. No, we haven't. We have given them $90 billion worth of equipment, bombs, missiles, tanks, shit to shoot at Russia, $90 billion, and we have promised them $90 billion more. That makes $180 billion. $350 billion is a number he made up because he's a liar.
We're in for probably 3 times as much, and yet it's very important to everybody, but Europe's very close. We have a big ocean separating us, so it's very important for Europe, and they hopefully will step up and do maybe more than they're doing, and maybe a lot more. The previous administration put us in a very bad position, but we've been able to make a deal where we're going to get our money back, and we're going to get a lot of money in the future, and I think that's appropriate because we have taxpayers that shouldn't be footing the bill, and they shouldn't be footing the bill at more than the Europeans are paying. So it's all been worked out. We're happy about it, and I think that very importantly, we're going to be able to make a deal. Most importantly, by far, we're going to make a deal with Russia and Ukraine to stop killing people. They'll stop killing young Russian soldiers and young Ukrainian soldiers and other people in addition in the towns and cities.
All the people.
And we will consider that a very important
I was worried that maybe they'd continue killing the old
soldiers. It was
soldiers.
going nowhere until this administration came in. They hadn't spoken to President Putin in 2 years.
Because he's the bad guy.
We'll keep you advised. Before we begin the cabinet, I'd like to have Scott and a couple of people say a few things, but most importantly, where are you? This is a gentleman who's going places, the head of HUD, and he's going to say...
No, we're going to skip ahead of this.
And you're going to say grace?
So over here, we're going to skip all that.
And
there he is.
A lot of praise, I'll tell you. But he's
the
also
president, standing above them all. Elon
That's
Musk.
the way it works. So I'd like to have Elon Musk please say a few words.
Well, thank you, Elon. Thank you, Mr. President. I actually just call myself a humble tech support here.
He's so funny, guys. He's just tech support.
That is
he's dumb.
Almost a literal description of the work that the Doge team is doing, is helping fix the government computer systems. Many of these systems are extremely old. They don't communicate. There are a lot of mistakes in the systems. The software doesn't work. So we are actually tech support. It's ironic, but it's true. The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here.
And his plan to combat that is to fire people who are making less than $100,000 a year. This is amazing.
And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. And I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, you know, knock on my wooden head, it's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings. That would be roughly 15% of the $7 trillion budget. And obviously that can only be done with the support of everyone in this room. And I'd like to thank everyone for your support. Thank you very much. This can only be done with your support. So it's really, Doge is a support function for the president and for the agencies and departments to help achieve those savings and to effectively find 15% in reduction in fraud and waste. And we bring the receipts. So people say, like, well,
you have not brought any receipts, Elon. None. Zero. Even the things on your email website are lies.
It's real. Just go to doge.gov.
We're gonna
line item by line item, we specify each item. So, and I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately. And there was no...
That sounds inefficient. You didn't look at what you were doing, you started chopping things off, then you recognized, oops, we need that, bring it back. That's not efficiency. That's chaos. That's recklessness.
Corruption. But we do need to move quickly if we're to achieve a $1 trillion deficit reduction in financial year 2026. It requires saving $4 billion per day, every day, from now through the end of September. But we can do it, and we will do it. Thank you.
Would you have any questions of Elon?
Ask Elon what's up with the government. Don't ask the cabinet or the president. Just ask Elon how everything's going.
Elon. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I just wanted to ask you that President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going.
Now, why this question? The people in the cabinet aren't happy with you. There are people in this room right now that told their workers not to reply to the Elon email. That stupid email where he sent it out to literally every single person and everyone in the military telling them to give me the 5 things you did this week. There are people in this room that told their workers not to reply to that. because it's stupid. It's shockingly inefficient. And the people involved said, no, don't do that. They're going to put it into a giant AI. How are they going to read 2 million emails? AI is how they're going to read those 2 million emails, and then they're going to fire people based on an AI. Inefficient. Stupid.
If so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Hey, Elon, let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with Elon?
Is anybody unhappy with Elon?
Problematic. Is anybody unhappy?
Some of these people told their people not to do what Elon said. And if you don't like Elon, you get tossed. Because he's in charge. He's the president. He runs this government now.
I will tell you, for the most part, I think everyone's not only happy, they're thrilled. So go ahead, Elon.
Grateful.
Continue telling everyone how the government functions.
Put together, I think, the best cabinet ever.
It's the richest cabinet ever.
Literally.
That's for sure.
And I do not give false praise. This is an incredible group of people. I don't think that such a talented team has actually
Richest,
ever been assembled.
wealthiest cabinet to ever
The
exist.
best cabinet that the country's ever had, and I think the company should be incredibly appreciative of the people in this room.
Mr.
Go
Musk.
ahead, please. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. Musk. Are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can people expect to see results of that?
Yes. Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was misinterpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse?
God, he's dumb. So the email, the very important, the wildly misinterpreted email, where he sent out an email to the OPM, sent out an email to 2 million federal employees, said, tell us what you did this past week. And he did that not as a performance review. No, it was a pulse check to make sure you exist. If you can't reply to the email, it proves that you don't exist. I'm going to listen to him for another minute, and then I'm going to yell about it a little bit.
You have a pulse and 2 neurons. So if you have a pulse and 2 neurons, you can reply to an email. This is, I think not a high bar, is what I'm saying. This is, anyone can accomplish this. But what we are trying to get to the bottom of is we think there are a number of people on the government payroll who are dead, which is probably why they can't respond. And some people who are not real people, like they're literally fictional individuals that are collecting paychecks. Well, somebody's collecting paychecks on a fictional individual, so we're just literally trying to figure out, are these people real? Are they alive? And can they write an email? Which I think is a reasonable expectation for the American public would have at least that expectation of someone in the public sector.
He thinks there are lots and lots of dead people through some sort of fraud collecting paychecks from the United States government as a government employee that can't respond to an email. Okay, let me do a bit. Here you go. I'm going to be an evil hacker. Well, hang on. Okay, I'm an evil hacker. All right, follow me here. I'm an evil bad guy. I'm an evil bad guy hacker. I'm evil Waldo. I'm a bad guy hacker. Okay, and what I'm going to do is start hacking. Where is my hack? I can't see the screen with my sunglasses on. Okay, so I'm hacking, right? I'm hacking. Oh yeah, look at me. I am stealing from the government database. Look at me. I'm in here. I'm hacking the government databases, and I'm crooked as hell. And I am an absolute criminal. I'm just going nuts here. I'm finding all the files. I'm downloading all the things. I'm stealing government databases, and then I find a contract that has gone on for a very long time, and I somehow create a fake person to collect that money. That money then goes into a bank account. The government pays people through direct deposit. They don't just give you pieces of large bags of cash. They direct deposit your money into a bank account. That bank account has a number and a routing number and an account number and a person's name attached to it. And that person, me, the awful monster hacker, takes that money out and then keeps it. And Elon thinks they can't respond to an email because he's an idiot. He's a moron. Elon is a moron. I got in trouble, not really in trouble, but there was a wonderful person who commented on my last YouTube video and talked about how they enjoyed me and Thomas debating peacefully and decently, and not screaming at each other. And then they said, Waldo, I can't follow you because you said Elon's a moron. Moron suggests that he has the intellect of a child and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, yes, exactly. He has baby brain. Elon thinks that the criminals who have hacked into the government can't respond to his email. God, he's dumb. He thinks that this is a way to determine how many dead people are getting money from the government. There's a better way to do that. This plan will not accomplish what you think it's going to accomplish, Elon. Because you're an idiot, you put together a stupid plan. His simple brain said, if we just send out an email to everybody, then they'll send it back. And then the ones who don't get fired. Simple brains like simple plans. Little things amuse little minds. Simple explanations are appreciated by simpletons. And that's what we've got here. We've got an absolute idiot running the government poorly. Elon Musk runs our government now, and he's doing a bad job because he is dumb. If you would have to hire, you could hire accountants or use the accountants that we already have to determine how many dead people are receiving government paychecks, and I'm willing to bet it's not very many. Doge's saving page fixed old mistakes and added new ones. So, what have we got? Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has more inflated savings claims on its digital wall of receipts. Like Trader Todd was saying, the real number is a third of what he says it is. Exactly. Tuesday's update to the federal website included inaccurate data, according to the NPR review, even as the group corrected prior errors. A day later, when speaking to President Trump's cabinet, Musk spoke about the effort to reshape the federal government. He said anyone who questions Doge savings can look at the digital receipts for themselves. He said, we won't be perfect. Great. We just heard him say that. The new numbers. Doge's savings page launched with a top-line claim of $55 billion saved with receipts that accounted for about $16 billion. So he's lying to you. And contract cancellations. And this isn't even fraud or a waste or abuse. He just doesn't like the contract, so he canceled it. But an NPR review found the documented savings were grossly overstated, including an apparent $8 billion typo. I talked about that last week. They typoed B for an M. There was $8 million, and they called it $8 billion because they're fucking criminals. They lie to you all the time. In Tuesday's update, Doge's new grand total of $65 billion saved is unclear how the tally was achieved. The site added almost 1,200 new receipts that claimed to show another $4 billion in savings, but when NPR matched the claims to federal contracting data, the savings were essentially unchanged from the initial analysis, now about $2.3 billion. They're lying about the receipts. They're lying about the numbers. And it's fine because nothing matters. Facts don't matter anymore. We live in the post-fact world where Elon can just go on TV, stand literally above the cabinet and stand above the president and tell you $65 billion when it's actually $2 billion. He'll sell you a fun story about the millions of dead people that are collecting checks, and he will never prove it. He will sell you a fun story about millions of illegals collecting money from Social Security. It's not true. There's no evidence to back that up. It's only going to get worse. At some point, if any of this were true, they would put those people in front of a judge. They would be prosecuting them. If you were the evil hacker that I described a few minutes ago, stealing government money, Elon would get together, if he were smart, forensic analysis of where those payments went. Tracking money is incredibly easy. Well, not easy, but it can be done. It's a thing that people are good at. There are people called forensic analysts who can do that. They can figure out where that money went. And then you can sue them. You can put them in jail. None of that is going to happen. The Doge will bring 0 charges against anyone ever. And that is a prediction that I am making right now. Yes, it is a prediction of the future. They will never put this information in front of a judge to have someone convicted. They're going to claim millions and millions of scammers have been scamming you, the American taxpayer. But they will never put anything in front of a judge. No, no, no. They will never bring any of this information, any of these receipts, into a court of law. Why? Because then that court of law will have a defender who will then do forensic analysis, and they will ask questions of the Doge. Who put this together? Where did this evidence come from? How did you get it? Who wrote this receipt? Here's an error in the receipt. What are you going to say about that? They can't stand up to scrutiny. Too risky, might get found out. Yeah, exactly, Valar. That would open them up to questions, to liability, to legal scrutiny. And they will never do any of that. They will just make vague claims towards people robbing you and fire whoever they want. They will make vague accusations and give you no evidence, or very little evidence. They will claim to have saved 65 billion when in fact the number is 2 billion. They'll scream about all the fraud and waste and abuse that they found, and they will put no one up for trial because they are charlatans, they are liars, they are grifters. They are not telling you true things. They are canceling whatever they want to cancel and then inflating the numbers. They're snake oil salesmen, nothing else. This is why I call Elon a moron. This is why either he's an idiot who believes the things he's saying, or he's a charlatan. He's a criminal. It's the only two options, honestly. He can't be bumbling into this, or else he would. If he didn't know, if he is unwittingly wrong, you would show him evidence and he would change his mind. Or he's both. He's an idiot of a criminal. He's a criminal and an idiot. Could be both. But he couldn't be accidentally doing these things right now. He couldn't be accidentally telling you an inflated number. Because when you gave him the actual information, he would say, oh, okay, I see. Let's lower that number to 2 billion instead of 65. He's not going to do any of that because they are criminals. They are grifters. They are stealing. They are gutting the American system so that no judge will ever look at them. And that's where we're headed, to a place where Elon gets to do whatever he wants with the budget, with the money, with the Treasury, with the Social Security, with the Medicare, with Medicaid. He can do whatever he wants, and no one can challenge him. The court of public opinion is where they reign, not the court of law. They lose. Donald Trump loses literally. I think literally every single time he's in court. I think over the past 6 months, he started to win, not from his crimes or anything like that, but because Facebook settled, CBS settled, the ABC, I think, settled with him so that they can get on his good side. They could have drawn out the thing, but again, when he gets into evidence and court, he loses. Elon, if he had to put these receipts, Elon can't even get past NPR. NPR is proving that he's a liar. You think they can't prove him a liar in court? Of course they can. Which is why none of this will ever make it to court. None of this will make it there. He will make accusations toward the billions they saved, and it won't matter. He'll tell you, Donald Trump will come on and tell you a great story about a 250-year-old man who was collecting money. He'll never tell you who he was. He'll never tell you where that money went. You'll never get that money back because it didn't happen. He'll never put that person up for trial. Won't happen. Because then we would start investigating. And when the lawyers are allowed to investigate, they'll find out that Elon is a liar. Super fun. Forensic accounting. And what is it? How it's used? Let's look at that. Forensic accounting, super fun. Forensic accounting is a combination of accounting and investigative techniques used to discover financial crimes. Forensic accountants explain the nature of financial crimes to the courts. Forensic accountants trace funds, identify assets, and conduct asset recovery, and perform due diligence reviews. Due diligence reviews are not a thing that you'll get from Doge. Doge is the opposite of due diligence reviews. Forensic forensic accounting is all used by the insurance industry to establish damages for claims. Elon Musk is doing, trust me, bro, we saved $65 billion. No, you can't look at it. No, I'm not going to show it to you. No, you're not going to find out where it came from. Yeah, you're right. It's not a fun, interesting bit. It's not dramatic, is the problem. Elon could hire forensic accountants to go into the government and check these things, but he hasn't, because it's not fun. It's nerd shit. We all know how Elon feels about nerd shit. He hates it. And they fired the attorneys general, who could put together a team. If you wanted the government properly to do what Elon's doing, you would have the attorneys general put together a team of forensic accountants, tell us ahead of time who you're going to investigate them, find out all the problems, put out the evidence, and put them up for trial. Elon's not going to do anything of that, and they fired the attorneys general. They fired the people who were finding the waste, the fraud, and the abuse. Social Security is already at 99% accurate. And I know that sounds crazy because the Republicans lie to you all day long. Social Security payment accuracy is over 99%. It says so right here. The Social Security Administration's payment accuracy is 99%. When he tells you that 250-year-olds are getting money, they're lying. The people in charge of this stuff already got rid of all the fraud, waste, and abuse that they can. Anything that Elon chops off now is because he doesn't like it. That's it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't understand it. He has created some sort of delusion, and he's chopping it off. They're already at 99% accurate with Social Security. I'm willing to bet some of the other agencies are slightly different. USAID is 100% accurate with what they're doing. He just doesn't like it. I had Thomas on last week, and he said, why are we giving condoms to Gaza? Because we want to. You just don't like it. That's not fraud. That's not waste. That's not abuse. You just don't like it, Elon. Elon doesn't understand why we're doing the things where the government... Elon doesn't understand why the government is doing what it does. And he creates a delusion and then spreads fear of that delusion. It's not fraud to give other countries money. It's not. It's not abuse. It's not waste. We had a plan, and we gave them some money. That's part of the plan. You can dislike the plan. You can get mad at the plan. You can say this is a shit plan. By all means, Elon, say it's a shit plan, and then put together a different plan, and then cut it. Fine, great. But don't lie about it. Don't call it fraud, because it's not. Don't call it waste, because it's not. Don't call it abuse, because it's not. Gaza, Mozambique, it would be so funny if it wasn't so sad. Yeah, I know. It didn't go to Gaza. It went to Mozambique. But they don't know the difference. And then Donald Trump lied about that fucking number. In reality, we sent $50 million worth of condoms to Mozambique. What does Doe's report? $50 million to Gaza. What does Donald Trump say? He says $100 million to Hamas. Specifically, the Hamas. We found them. We went to the rubble. We found them and said, here's $100 million worth of condoms. Congratulations. They're idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. They make things up. If you don't like USAID, great. Say you don't like it. Don't lie about it. Doge is doing fraud by lying to you about how much they're saving. They're doing fraud by over-exaggerating, by not getting security clearances. They're abusing their power. And by firing people, then rehiring them, they're causing waste. Doge is the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. Because the actual government is more complicated than Elon can wrap his tiny brain around. And it is a tiny brain. Oh, and don't worry, the president, after this meeting, at the very end of this meeting, told the reporters what to write. Here you go. Let's listen to that.
Lawrence, say we did a great job, please. Okay? Say it was unbelievable.
Lawrence, say we did a great job, please. He's telling the reporter what to write. Tell everybody we did a great job. I'm going to need, I need that kind of energy. So Valor, I need you to tell everybody that I did a great job on stream today. Tell them I did such a good job. Doesn't matter if it's true. Doesn't matter what you think. I need you to tell people that, okay, please? So go on over to YouTube, press the thumbs up button, whether you like it or not. Leave a comment telling me what a great job I did today. And KBP, if you're still here, I need you to tell me I'm doing such a great job, okay? Because then it'll be true. Tell everyone how great I am. It's sad.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.